Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go back to the main screen and I want to talk to you about 8 different models for making money online. I'm going to talk about each of these. I probably won't talk about them today, so I'll take some feedback from people. So what I'll do is I'll just introduce these 8 different models, and then what we'll do is we'll probably leave it here today, and maybe on a future date we could talk about these 8 different models and the strengths and weaknesses, the advantages and disadvantages of each one. Okay. Now the first four. The first one is called the licensed model. And the reason I put this first is the licensed model is the fastest way to make money online. It's the fastest way to launch a business online. It's the fastest way to actually get from zero to hero, right? And what I mean by licensed model is that you do a course that is certified and recognized, and at the end of it you get a license to be able to teach that course to somebody else. Some people call it the train the trainers model. So for example, NLP is the train the trainers model. You can go and I'll give you an example of my experience. I came across NLP in 2005. 2002 actually, I think, is when I first came across NLP. And I learned how to become an NLP practitioner. I learned how to become a master practitioner. And then I did a train the trainer program, how to train people in NLP. Now, I was quite naive back in 2005 because I thought that I could just learn NLP and start teaching it straight away, and didn't realize the power of NLP because I hadn't really applied it to my life yet. But it was a licensed model. You learn about the practitioner training, the master practitioner training, and the trainer's training. And then if I do the trainer's training, then I get a license to train people in NLP. And it's recognized all over the world by the ABNLP and all these different organizations. And as long as I follow the structure, the syllabus that is set down by the ABNLP, then, and I meet a required standard of prerequisites for home study and stuff like that, I can teach that model. And it's the fastest way because the model is already proven. It's already there. NLP is already an established, proven model for high level performance. Okay. So for me, I actually went down this route and became a licensed NLP trainer, certified NLP trainer very quickly. From 2002, I first came across the concept of personal development. And by 2005, I was teaching people NLP. And the feedback I got from my first trainings and since was that for a lot of people, it was the best training they ever experienced in their life. Now, why was the best training they experienced in life? Was it because I was an amazing trainer? Well, I'd like to think so, and I'd like to take credit for it. But it wasn't. The fact that I was naturally a good trainer helped, but it's because the model was already there. It was a proven model that people had been using for about 30 years. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people who don't teach the proven model. They teach like an ad hoc model. It's not a very strictly adhered to model. What I taught was the proven model, a model that worked very, very well. And then I improved that myself over the years as well. I made it uniquely mine. So the license model is the quickest way to make money online, because if you actually have a licensed model, you have something that's already proven. Somebody's already proved in the marketplace. It's got an established brand. NLP is a recognized brand in the world, right? Hypnosis would be another one. If you want to become a hypnosis trainer, you can learn hypnosis, you become good at hypnosis, you can train people in hypnosis very quickly because there's a proven model around it. And there's other models out there as well, like EFT, for example, and Reiki and stuff like that. A lot of people they buy into that licensed model, and then they actually offer that as a service to train somebody else, or to offer that as a one-on-one service to somebody else. There's a lot of gotchas with the licensed model. And the main gotcha is this, and this is my experience. Even if you're really, really good student and you learn the license model really, really well, you probably won't know why the model works. Okay, think of it this way. Imagine somebody's working in an insurance company, okay? And they've been working in an insurance company for 5 years, and they know everything about running this insurance company, okay? And they know all the processes in the insurance company. And they say, I think I can do better. And they go off and they set up their own insurance company. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to use the same model. They set up their own insurance company using the exact same processes that they had in the previous business. But think about this. They were not the innovator, right? They were not the person who planned and designed the processes. They were just the employee or the manager. So when they set up their own business, they probably don't know why those processes were put in place. They don't know what problems those processes were solving. They're just duplicating the model. So while they might actually be able to get the results with a licensed model, they might actually not know why those processes were put in place. They might not know why it works. And the only way to know why it works really is to break the model and figure out, oh, that doesn't work. And then actually come back and go back to the original model and see if you can get it working again. Or try to improve the model, and if it doesn't work, you go back to the original model. And what you do is you take feedback. So what I've been doing for 15 years is I've been taking the model that worked, and then I would deviate from that model, and I find out things that made it better. It says, okay, that works. And then I deviate a little bit more, so that doesn't work, and I go back on track to the original model that was working. So every time I would improve the model, every time I would change the model, I have to test to see if the model still works or not. Now, what can happen a lot for people is they totally change the model into the way they think they should do it, but they don't know why that model worked in the first place, and therefore the whole thing just goes splat. It doesn't work. And unless they go back to the original model, they won't actually have a proven path for actually getting results. So the license model is the quickest way to create business online, but also is quite dangerous because you probably don't know why that model works, and it will take years and years of experience to figure out why that model works and why other things don't work.